really good series. And
Yeah,
that's the thing is, like, as we start the show, which we are live now, welcome to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Jake and I kind of just looking at the schedule, kind of looking at just the lay of the land where the Brewers stand after this series with the Cardinals just ended, which we're going to talk about all those games. Jake and I just kind of talking about where the Brewers stand as far as coming out of this series and where they're going to be um, kind of compared to where they were last year and just kind of looking at what else they have left on the schedule.
Yep.
So Jake and I were kind of just talking about the Phillies a little bit, which is going to be some good baseball this weekend, which whatever happens, it's going to be good baseball.
Yeah. I mean, they're
All
at
right.
home. They have a 5-game winning
Exactly.
streak at home. So hopefully they can continue that on the road against the Pirates and the Yankees. Both teams are horrible this year.
Yeah.
By the Yankee standards, they're horrible. So
Yeah. And we're going to do our best to not let recency bias really cloud anything. I mean, at the end of the day, the Brewers are still 4-2 in the last week. They're still 8-2 in their last 10. So we're going to start with the Padres series. But first, before we do that, Jake, give me your power pair and your underrated performer for the 6 games against the Padres and Cubs.
All right. So power pair, my power pair hitter. Let me take this one out. I feel like I'm yelling. I went with William Contreras. And I have a question to ask you when I'm done with William Contreras. I thought of 2 good questions that I think are good discussion points for us today. William Contreras, this is not updated with today's game. I just take him from week to week. So Tyler is the extra grinder and gives you the today's stats as well. But coming into today, he was 8 of 23, 6 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. That's a 348 average, a 444 on base percentage, a 739 slug, and a 1.184 OPS. Now, these 2 things are updated. I looked them up today, right before we got on here. He is our best against left-handed pitching, so there's a reason that Ross was making all those moves late in the game when Contreras was coming up. He's hitting 336 versus lefties this year, so absolutely raking versus lefties. And he's on a current 10-game hitting streak, which he extended in the 3rd inning when he hit in Yelich. So the question I have before I continue this is, where would you rank Contreras in terms of catchers in Major League Baseball? I've been seeing a lot of Brewers fans talk about it on all platforms. Is he top 3? Is he top 5? What do you think? Tim, you can answer this too.
I think I would comfortably put him top 5 because he has made such an improvement defensively.
Yeah.
Like, we knew he was going to be good offensively.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the season, I made a bold prediction. This was a bold prediction at the time that he would go from 48th to top 24. I didn't know he was going to go from 48th to top 5 in pitch framing.
Yeah, right.
So he has exceeded any possible expectations that could have been set for him, except for maybe home runs.
Mm-hmm.
And at that, he's got the rest of his batting average up. So I'm comfortable putting him top 5. I don't know if I would go as far as to say that I'm, without looking, if I'd say that he's top 3, just because there's some pretty good catchers in the Major League Baseball. I would say comfortably top 5. I would say it's possible that he's top 3, but I'd want to look up some stats first.
First of all, I 100% agree. I'd say top 5 without even like doing any research. Right. But if we looked at the numbers defensively, run save, pitch framing, stuff like that, and then we look at all the doubles he's got, especially in the second half of the season, the clutch hits. He now owns the Brewers' farthest home run, which we'll get to that game.
Oh man,
he absolutely crushed that baseball. But yeah, he is a tremendous, tremendous catcher, and it's really nice to have a guy that we know is good in that position.
Connor said he came here to calm down after the last series. I also hate the Cubs, so that makes it worse.
Yeah, Connor.
It is what it is. Like we opened the show. I'm not sure if you were here right at the beginning, Connor. We opened the show saying the Brewers are still 4-2 over the last week. They're still 8-2 over the last 10 games. They're still 3 games up in the NL Central, which has been a bigger lead than most teams have held all season. It's we'll get to some of the games, but
it's still, we still control our own destiny. Like,
exactly.
Does it hurt the way that we lost today and yesterday? Yes.
Yeah.
But they found a way to just etch across a couple more runs, which makes me think about a guy that we know where he's like run differential, and we
You
beat.
suck. I was waiting. Oh
I'm
man, I
sorry,
wanted to
dude.
bring that up.
I was thinking it after last night. I'm sorry. I was thinking it after last night, and I was like, oh my god,
I've
he's
been
gonna.
thinking about it, and I'm like, this series does give us an opportunity to make fun of Cubs fans for something they've been saying all season,
Yeah, like
and it's the run differential thing. So we'll get back to it.
yeah, yeah. So let me continue my power pair here. So my power pitcher, I went with Bryce Wilson,
It's a great pick.
strictly off of
Great
one
pick.
game. Really, he was tremendous in that one game that we will get to. So one game, one win, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4K. That's a 0.75 WHIP and a 0 ERA, and saves a ton of arms that we could have used in the bullpen, and was pretty locked down against a pretty damn good lineup, I'll say. So
Yeah, that's a
Bryce
great
Wilson,
pick.
thank you. Hey, coming from you, buddy, I appreciate that. My underrated performer, which he's not underrated. At least he shouldn't be. There was just a lot of really good, solid picks this week because the offense was humming. Mark Canha, he was also 8 of 23, 3 runs, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Home run was awesome, by the way, and only 4 strikeouts from Mark Canha. That's a 348 average. Once again, a 400 on base percentage, a 478 slug, and an 878 OPS. I'm loving Mark Canha. He could play kind of all over the field. Played first base last night. So he could play multiple positions. He hits for a high average. He's got great control of the strike zone. So I'm a big Mark Canha fan all of a sudden out of nowhere.
He gets on base. That's what we knew
Yeah.
when the Brewers got him from the Mets, is that he gets on
Yep.
base because he struggled a little bit when he first came over. People let their entire opinion of him be focused not on his entire body of work, but only on the tiny bit of games that he had played with the Brewers.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense to do that.
No,
The
not at
the
all.
small sample sizes it rears its head at the most ignorant of times.
Ooh,
Connor's got a good question. I'll get
that
to it before I do
that
mine.
is a very good
Um,
question.
and now Mark Canha all of a sudden is hitting for a good average with the Brewers. He's playing, like you said, a bunch of positions, and he's getting on base a whole bunch. One of his specialties, not that this is like a super thing to be like a specialist in, but he's very good at getting hit by pitches.
Yeah,
It
he is the
benefited the
master.
Brewers today. He got hit by a pitch and it forced in a run. Like, just gotta collectively kind of just be patient once in a while, especially in baseball. I've said it 100 times this season. Baseball is the most zoomed out regular season in professional sports.
Yep.
It's every single thing of all the ups and downs that are going to happen are just zoomed in, zoomed in. It's so wide and vast with how many games they play. There needs to be some patience involved.
Agreed.
And recency bias is probably the second ugliest monster. And it's happening today. Happened yesterday. All of a sudden, everybody's back way off the bandwagon of the offense, even though they just showed 9 games in a row that they can put up a bunch of runs. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Connor asked, could Wilson take over Hauser's start upcoming? That's looking at Saturday start. Currently, it's announced as to be determined. It's possible that Wilson could make that start. He hasn't made any starts all season. Where I'm going to put my money and my hopes in the same basket, and it's for Robert Gasser.
Oh, you know
That's who I want to start on
that
Saturday.
game's on national television. You know that, right?
Oh man, we get another national TV
It
debut.
it is. And then
Rosters
Sunday's game is
expand
on.
on Friday, so and the Brewers have an open spot on their 40-man roster.
They
So
do. Dude, who the heck said that? God damn it. I don't remember who said it, who tweeted it out, but they were like, there's an open spot on the 40-man roster. I'll let you guys assume what you want. And you knew that everybody was gonna go, you know where they were going.
everybody's wanting to say Custon,
Yep, Keston. I'm like, bro, we have 100 freaking first basemen now.
right?
Where the hell are you putting Keston?
Yeah.
So, okay, since we're just kind of talking about this, I just want to ask you now, the other question that I was thinking of. And I was talking to my baseball guy at work today, and he had some good answers. Hi Keith, if
Okay.
you're watching. Um, do we pick up anybody that the Angels just put on waivers?
So you're looking at Hunter Renfroe, Lucas Giolito, Randall Grichuk, and somebody else. Who was the other one?
I don't remember the other one.
I think it was.
But,
Oh, it's a relief pitcher that they traded for.
Yeah.
That's not been doing well.
Yeah.
Probably not.
See, we really didn't come to a conclusion, but we were both thinking like the same thing. But there's also rumors of Hunter Renfroe as the answer that we kind of both gave. And I'm a big Hunter guy, but he'd be power, he'd be average. He's playoff experience, blah yada yada. But he plus he has a freaking cannon for an arm out there. If they really don't trust Weimer to bat in the playoffs, then I say you go get a Hunter. Yeah, then you go get a Hunter Renfroe. But there's all these rumors of him being such a horrible, clubhouse guy.
Yeah, not a great clubhouse guy.
Yeah. So and then we've been playing so good, and it seems like the team's the camaraderie's kind of coming together. They seem like a really tight knit group. So we were both kind of like,
So
no,
this is
yes.
in a different vein, whereas last year it happened by subtraction. We
Yeah.
saw the chemistry get thrown off by the Josh Hader trade, and that kind of derailed the season.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about an addition that could potentially do a similar thing,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, just food for thought, I guess. Just food for thought.
That's a totally fair question. It's just, yeah, I would say probably not. I think we've seen that all the guys that they have currently are capable.
Yep.
And we're seeing guys do good things. So,
I
for my power pair position player, I went with Carlos Santana. First of all, for the dude to take a terrible slide and sprain his ankle, that looked rough. To stay in that game, first of all, and then to be back playing 3 days later. Dude's 37, but he's an Iron Man.
I agree.
Carlos Santana, 11 hits in his last 9 games, and is on a 9-game hitting streak.
Ooh.
Connor said, "I'd like to see Gosser start. Just think that Wilson should be brought up."
Oh no, that's completely fair.
That's a good question. It's a great question.
Great
I
question.
actually asked Vinny Rotino today. I'm like, "Who do you think is going to start on Saturday?"
What'd he say?
I asked him, and I'm like, he said he's not sure, and I said, "Could it be Gosser?" And he said maybe. So didn't get any inside information from him. But
Damn,
the idea.
I was hoping for some juicy shit, dude.
Did you know that Robert Gosser leads AAA in strikeouts?
I do now.
Got your
Brewers
back.
pitching lab, baby.
Speaking of strikeouts, Freddie Peralta is my power pitcher this week. He pitched 5 1/3 innings this week. We're going to talk about his start soon. Freddie Peralta has 59 strikeouts in his last 6 games.
Bro, if he gets 10 in his next start, and one of us do not pick him as power pair, we are failing our show. Just straight up fact. I'm sorry.
I'll keep an eye on
it. Friday. So Friday he starts.
But I mean, you're essentially looking at over his last 6 starts, basically 10 strikeouts a game. If he were to do that over 30 starts in a season, you're looking at a 300 strikeout season if you were to extrapolate that.
That's disgusting.
That is
hi, Mike.
Absolutely disgusting.
I don't know why I just sounded Australian right there, but hi, Mike.
I don't know. It was weird, but I'm here for
it. Hey, I was good. Hey, I picked up myself. You just continue rolling over
there. Okay, and then for my underrated performer, I went with Rowdy Tellez, back off the injured list. He had some very, very big moments in the San Diego series. He drove in 6 runs in 2 games against San Diego, so I went with Rowdy Tellez as my underrated performer. We got this guy, Mike, in the comments saying, "Let's go, Freddie." This is, Tim said, "Good eye, Mike." Mike is part of an organization that we're gonna tease that we might be working with in the near future once we hammer out some more details. Justin said, let's hammer or let's get wins. Jesus. I'm just going to start over. Let's just win on Friday. These 2 losses were weak sauce. Brewers need to learn how to seize the moment. We just saw them for 2 weeks straight seize the moment. It's unfortunate. I'll give you the weak sauce. That's totally fair. And we will make fun of Cubs fans when we get to talking about those games.
So the Brewers have the best record in, well, maybe not anymore, probably still second best, but second best record in baseball in 1-run games, and they don't know how to seize moments. Don't agree with that. Sorry.
Mike said. So I'm gonna put this up here because I want to talk about it.
He's dropping hints.
Mike is helping us out. We're gonna do a giveaway when we hit 5,000 followers on Facebook. We are just over 4,900, so we have less than 100 to go, and we're gonna do a giveaway on Facebook for hitting 5,000 followers. Mike is gonna help us out by giving something for it, and he said you may love it. And love is in all caps, so something Jordan Love related, I'm guessing.
That's where my mind went.
Oh, man.
Now I'm jealous of whoever 5,000 is.
I want to be entering that contest.
Right.
All right, let's start with the Padres series. What stood out to you from the first game of the Padres series?
Oh, man. Some good stuff from this weekend. Nothing gets past you guys. Well, that one is right in front of us. So, Brandon Woodruff started this game. He was fantastic at both starts, by the way. He could have been a power pitcher very easily.
Absolutely.
In this game, 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, only 1 earned run, and 11 strikeouts. And yeah, I'm going to have some stuff about strikeouts after we get done with this series. You guys are going to want to stick around for that. It's disgusting. Abner Uribe, he was fantastic in this one. 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. It's later when we'll get to that though. Trevor McGill. So you have 2 flamethrowers back to back. And then
I got some numbers for you on the flamethrowers.
I know you do. You stay up to date on those 100-mile-an-hour pitches, and I love it. Shafin, 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 K. Not impressed with that. That's the only move that if I could take it back, I would. It's like,
to be transparent, I wasn't a fan of him before the Brewers added him.
All right, yeah,
but
it's kind of
he had success in the past, so I had hoped that he would be able to replicate it. It just hasn't been over the last season and a half.
Yeah. So, RBIs in this one, Adames. Tellez with 4 of them, including a really massive home run, which was his first home run since May 22nd, a game that me and you were at, by the way.
Yep.
Contreras also got an RBI. Tellez, that was home run number 13 for him. And the Brewers were 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Rowdy Tellez was 2 for 3. So you said he had some big moments in the San Diego series, and he absolutely did. When we get done, I'm going to go over the strikeouts, but just know that the Padres struck out 17 times in this game. And the Brewers only struck out 16 times in the series. So I'll give you an extra breakdown when Tyler's done with the game breakdown.
That was wild.
Oh,
all right, top of the first, Tatis had a 1-out double. Woodruff responds by striking out Soto. Manny Machado, strikes him out looking, by the way. Manny Machado drew a walk, and then Woodruff struck out Xander Bogaerts. That's a tough top 5 to deal with for San Diego. They're underachieving, but they are all still very good baseball players.
Yes.
And that is a tough top 5 of a batting order to deal with. Top of the 3rd inning, we got to see former Brewer Trent Grisham and Woodruff just going at it. Just a long at bat, tied for the longest at bat in the season in all of baseball this year. 16 pitch at bat ends in a strikeout for Brandon Woodruff. It's a great at bat by Grisham, but Woodruff gets the win in the head-to-head. After that, a walk. Tatis gets a single, and then Brandon Woodruff gets Juan Soto to ground into a double play. Woodruff's at 59 pitches through 3 innings. That's really the only thing that I've seen with Woodruff a little bit, and it's happened with Freddie Peralta a handful of times. is there's just one inning
Yep.
where a guy is throwing like 22, 24, 26, 30 pitches, and that's what keeps them from going 7 innings in a game. If
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta, and then this is going to be something that can carry him into next season, if Freddie Peralta can have, like, if he can just cut those innings down where he's having those really high pitch innings, Freddie Peralta will be an ace level pitcher, which I
Yeah.
would say he already is. But I'm saying, like, Freddie Peralta will give you 7 innings, 12 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs every outing. That's where I believe Freddie Peralta is capable of being if he just can navigate himself out of some of those 30 pitch innings.
I agree with that 100%.
In the middle of this, shout out to CC Sabathia. He was at this game. The dude looks great, honestly. Good for him.
Yeah.
He's lost, I would say, probably easily 100 pounds since he's retired from the league, and he still loves Milwaukee. He's still checking in on the team, and it's good to hear him wishing good things for Milwaukee.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best trades in Brewers history, if not the best.
I mean,
that could be a fun segment. That could be a fun segment. Best trades for every team.
I'm with you on that for doing that as a segment, but I think they might have one up it a couple times.
Think so?
Yes, I would. There's 2 that come to mind for me.
Say them right now.
Christian Yelich and William Contreras.
I'll give you Yelich. I'm not giving you Contreras. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not giving you.
We got
Contreras.
Payamps in that deal too.
I know, but dude, CC Sabathia like brought us to the playoffs after like a 26-year drought, dude.
I know. I get the impact of it, but we're looking at best trades.
Yeah, I'll give you Yelly. I said could be. I didn't say it was. I said could be. I left it out there open. Now everybody's attacking me. Sorry, Christopher and Josh.
I even got a Yelich shirt on today. All right. So bottom of the third, Bryce Durang leads off with a single. Tyrone Taylor gets hit by a pitch. Christian Yelich hits into a fielder's choice. And William Contreras hits an opposite field single, makes the game 1-0. Santana pops out, and then with 2 outs, Willy Adames hits a single, makes the game 2-0. William Contreras gets the third on the bat, and then Rowdy Tellez catches a hanging breaking ball and hits it to the Toyota territory. Just a monstrous home run. Yu Darvish was actually at 58 pitches through 3 innings, so him and Woodruff pacing along there evenly. Top of the fourth, Manny Machado hit a leadoff solo home run, made the game 5-1. Yelich made a sliding catch against Bogarts, and then a ground out and a looking strikeout right at the knees. Brandon Woodruff responded well to the home run. Bottom of the fourth, Bryce Durang had a really good at-bat. He pulled a sharp ball down the line, just snagged by the first baseman. Tyrone Taylor, another sharply hit ball for a line out. Tough spot to be. Top of the fifth, Woodruff got his 7th strikeout. And then Grisham, his next time at bat, did not take 16 pitches to get him. Only took 2. Got him to ground out. A very similar play to the one that Bryce Durang had in the top of the inning. Nice play by Santana at first base. Following that, a walk. Batter stole second. The throw goes into center field. The runner gets to third base. The third time versus Tatis, and Woodruff gets a strikeout on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike 2 in that at-bat was an 87-mile-an-hour changeup. So Brandon Woodruff, I think what's making him so effective is the 10-mile-an-hour difference in his fastball and changeup, and he's using it so effectively. And I think that's what's made him so good since coming back from the injured list.
The arm angle is exactly the same too. So you're basically just up there watching the spin, and then it's spinning exactly the same because that's what changeups do. They spin the same as fastballs. So
yeah,
good luck.
Yes, so Woodruff has been very, very effective with it. Going to the top of the 6th inning, Brandon Woodruff comes back out with 92 pitches. 92 pitches, he comes back out, strikes out Juan Soto, strikes out Manny Machado, and then strikes out Xander Bogaerts, looking arguably one of the toughest 3-man spots in any batting order in all of baseball, arguably. And that got him to 107 pitches. It also moved Brandon Woodruff to number 2 in Brewers history in double-digit strikeout games.
I like it.
I'm fairly certain you could figure out who number 1 is.
Giovanni Gallardo?
It's not Giovanni Gallardo.
Damn, was that a good guess at least?
It was a good guess. I'll tell you why in a second.
Ben Sheets?
It's not Ben Sheets.
What? I was so confident in that.
You're gonna be mad when I tell you who it is.
Is it Burns?
It's Corbin Burns.
Oh my god. I did one of those things that all people do where I outsmarted myself. I was like, it's
You
probably
did.
Corbin Burns.
Brandon Woodruff to get to second past Giovanni Gallardo. So Giovanni was a good guess, just not good enough.
I'm not on my game today. That sucks.
It's all right. It's all right. Top of the 7th, Abner Uribe came in, did give up a single, and then a strikeout, and then another single. So the Padres had first and third with 1 out. Follows with a strikeout looking, and then another strikeout. Craig Counsell after the game said that he's comfortable using Abner Uribe in more high leverage situations going forward. We may have to consider making Abner Uribe a partner in the law firm of Peguero, Payamps, and Williams.
The late addition, the college kid, huh? The college kid.
Bottom of the 7th, Carlos Santana hit a 2-out single. Willy Adames hit a single into the gap. Santana gets the third. The throw goes out of play, so Santana gets the score. Makes the game 6-1. Willy Adames goes to second base on the throw out of play. Rowdy Tellez ropes a hot single to right field, 107 miles an hour off the bat. So
we were hitting some baseballs hard this last.
He really has, which is good to see, especially him coming off the injured list and then just coming back and starting to hit balls hard right away.
Right.
That made the game 7-1. Bottom of the 8th, Trevor McGill comes in. Weimer goes to play center field. Gets Tatis to strike out on 3 pitches, gets Juan Soto to ground out, and gets Manny Machado to strike out looking. So Trevor McGill navigating that same 3 batters. Good credit to him. That was great work from him. And then you mentioned Chafin, top of the 9th. It's a strikeout, a walk, and a home run, makes the game 7-3, and then the pair of fielders' choice to end the game. Not that there's no harm done. Just hurts his ERA, but the Brewers still got the win. For me, looking at some of the takeaways from this, one is a quote by Rowdy Tellez saying, "This is a good team, and I don't think that people really understand that."
I remember we were together. You showed me that, and people really don't understand how good this Brewers team can be. I don't think, to be completely honest with you, I don't think they understand how good they could be yet. I don't think they've hit on all cylinders yet. We haven't really had Rowdy and Adames hit together, really. I mean, this last week they were just kind of getting started when Rowdy just came off the injured list. I understand that. But, for long periods of time, plus Yelich has been kind of in a slump. So if Yelich can get hot with, Contreras being hot, Santana being hot, I don't think that this team's hit on all cylinders yet. And there's still 3 games up in this division.
Let me throw Joey Weimer in there. Like, he's a guy that we've seen can hit for power. So, I mean, I agree with you that they haven't hit on all cylinders at the exact right time. But if the pitching and defense, which we know is stellar, hits at the same time as even just half of the lineup hitting on all cylinders, we've seen over the last 2 weeks what this team is capable of.
I mean, they just went on a 9-game winning streak. So to say that they're not one of the best teams in baseball, you're just lying to yourself. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing, is like they're not in first place by accident.
Exactly.
It can happen at the beginning of the season when there's a small sample size.
Pirates,
exactly. They started 20-9.
Yeah, they were going nuts. I was like, "What the hell is going on right here? You're supposed to suck this year." and look,
and now they're in 4th place. So as the sample size grows, what they say is the cream rises to the top, is the phrase. But the Brewers aren't in first place by accident. Not this close to the end of the season, not 6 months into the season.
Man, it's about to be September, man.
I know, Craig Timber.
Let's go, baby.
Next thing, Brandon Woodruff's pitch count stood out to me. The fastball changeup combo looked amazing. Got to 107 pitches. That's great. You did mention Rowdy Tellez, his first home run since May 22nd. 128 at-bats between home runs.
God damn.
Yeah, that's a long time. But hopefully that's a floodgate scenario.
Yeah, no offense, Rowdy, but god damn, bro.
I mean, he was on the injured list.
I know, but
The at bats is the long thing. The time
yeah,
you can put out the injured list part.
yeah.
So I did tell you, Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill, 5 strikeouts combined between them, 16 100 plus mile an hour pitches.
Damn, you ready for this strikeout count?
Sure, give it to me.
All right, so they had 2 players that struck out 3 times, Bogarts and Sanchez. By the way, the Brewers struck out 3 times as a team, so there you have that. They had 3 players strike out twice, Tatis, Soto, and Machado. That's $43 million for 6 strikeouts in a game. And then Ha-Seong Kim struck out 1 time. You add that all up, that's 17. It's a lot of money to strike out 17 times. Yeah.
Yikes.
Freaking yikes, dude.
Yikes. Okay. This game made the streak 6 games, tied the season long. You already mentioned the 17 strikeouts. And then Mark Canha, Willie Adames, Rowdy Tellez, and Carlos Santana, all 2 for 4. So as we get into the mind-blowing stats. As we get into the second game of this Padres series, I want to bring something up between May 15th and August 6th. The Brewers had 73 games played, and they had 3 total 5-run innings.
Oh.
From August 6th to now, they have 5 5-run innings.
Oh my God.
So they literally have more 5-run innings in the last 3 weeks than they had the previous 3 months.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat right there. You kept hyping that one up.
I told
Kept
you.
hyping that one up. I love that one. That's great. Good shit, man.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to game 2. What stood out to you from game 2?
Game 2. Game 2 was fun, in my opinion. Game 2 might have been no, the third game was definitely the most fun. I lied. But this one was great as well. So Freddie Peralta on the mound. I'm so happy I'm over that Willie Peralta stuff. Thank you.
Attaboy.
Took a lot of practice, a lot of saying Willie Peralta, and a lot of ridiculing from you, which was fair. But
that's what I'm here for.
Freddie, 5 1/3, 2 hits, 3 walks, 2 earned runs, and 9 Ks. I mean, does he not strike out 9 people every time he starts, or what's going on here?
I mean, he's got two 13 strikeout games in the last 6 outings.
This guy is just crazy right now. Having the 3 horses back on top of this pitching is just unfair, honestly. Like people talk about, batting lineups, like we have the best top 3 starting pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think that's debatable.
It's really not.
When Freddie Peralta is your third best pitcher, like third best starting pitcher, that's clown showish in my opinion. Peguero did a tremendous job in this game. He pitched an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 K, 0 earned runs. So pat on the back for you, Elvis Peguero. Yoel Payamps gave up 2 earned runs. He gave in 1 inning and 2 hits, no Ks, but it's gonna happen. I mean, the guy is human. The run he gave up today, by the way, if anybody gives Payamps shit for that, you need to watch the game because just looking at the stats does not tell the story.
Anyways, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and an error, which Adames makes in his sleep, by the way. So whatever. Devin Williams came in, locked stuff down, 1 inning pitch, 2 Ks, no hits, no walks, and he just did Devin Williams things. And this one, Santana, Monasterio, and Contreras got the RBIs. Contreras and Santana both had doubles, 30 doubles now for Willie Contreras. And they were 3 for 8 in this one with runners in scoring position. So running in scoring position hitting has been tremendous for a long time now.
I like it. So top of the second inning, Xander Bogaerts led off with a solo shot, made the game 1-0 for the Padres. Freddie Peralta settled right down, went 1-2-3 after that. Top of the third inning, Freddie Peralta went 1-2-3 again with 2 strikeouts. Top of the fourth inning, another 1-2-3, only 7 pitches, and Freddie Peralta had 6 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. Top of the fifth, a 2-out single is all that the Padres had. That was 2 more strikeouts for Freddie Peralta. Bottom of the fifth, Mark Canha starts it off with a leadoff single. Bryce Terang follows with a bunt single. And now this is something that's been brought up a lot is bunting. And Jake and I talk about it a lot, that as a strategy for moving runners over, it's not a great idea. So for this scenario, for people to be like, oh, you guys like bunting now that he got a hit, it's less about the fact that he bunted and more about the fact of taking advantage of defensive positioning. So
As a
in my mind,
strategy, yes. As just giving them an out, no.
Exactly. In my mind, I view a bunt for a single when you are seeing, a third baseman who is playing a left-handed batter almost where the shortstop normally stands, and you can just put the ball right there and know that Bryce Terang, like nobody's getting to that ball and throwing him out. And knowing that, to me, is comparable of seeing, say a huge gap in the right center. Let's say the center fielder is shading you towards left and the right fielder is playing straight up, and there's a huge gap in right center, and aiming for that gap, you're just aiming to put the ball where the defense isn't.
Yeah.
That's how I view that scenario where Bryce Terang bunts for a hit. So the Brewers have first and second, nobody out. Andrew Monasterio on the first pitch makes it 3 straight singles. Mark Canha scores, ties the game at 1. Tyrone Taylor hits a fielder's choice. The Padres go for the lead runner. So the Brewers back to first and second with 1 out for the top of the order. They run a double steal. Throw goes into left field. Andrew Monasterio scores. Tyrone Taylor gets to second base. Christian Yelich draws a 4-pitch walk, and then William Contreras hits a triple down the left field line. Don't see that very often, especially for a right-handed batter hitting a triple down the left field line.
And a catcher on that.
Exactly, a catcher at that. William Contreras was moving. So good for him. Tyrone Taylor and Christian Yelich scored on that play, making it 4-1. Pitching change, and then Carlos Santana rips a double down the right field line, makes the game 5-1. And that was it for the Brewers in the bottom of the fifth. Top of the sixth, a leadoff walk, a strikeout by Tatis. Elvis Peguero comes in for Freddie Peralta, gives up a single to Manny Machado, makes the game 5-2, and then gets a double play to end the inning. I don't know if there's anybody on the Brewers who has gotten more perfect timing double plays than Elvis Peguero. I'm positive that there's guys that have more double plays on the season and probably even in the bullpen, but for getting them at the most perfect time, I don't know that there's been somebody who's gotten more clutch double plays than Elvis Peguero.
You know what is crazy about that is I have that in my notes because I was at my dad's house on Saturday or Sunday, and my dad said almost the exact same thing. He was like, he always gets a double play when he needs one. Because he does. You're like, oh, God damn it. Elvis, you need a double play now. Oh, okay, there's a double play. The middle infield is freaking tremendous, dude. They both could be up for Gold Gloves this year.
Yeah, definitely should be in the conversation. Top of the seventh, you mentioned Elvis Peguero did pitch more than 1 inning. He came back out, gave up a leadoff walk to Tatis, got a grounder. Willie Adames just dropped the throw. It's a rare scenario. Christian Yelich followed it up with a great catch at the wall. Tatis did get to third on the catch, but then Elvis Peguero got a strikeout of Grisham and a ground out to end a scoreless 7th inning. So dealing with some pressure, Elvis Peguero did not fold. Top of the 8th, you mentioned Yoel Payamps pitching in this game. Gives up a single to Tatis, and then a Soto home run, made the game 5-4. We talked about this a little bit on Friday that you were kind of feeling like Payamps has been bitten by the home run bug a little bit, and I just didn't really feel that that's the case. He hasn't really given up runs. He's really just had the 2 outings in August. He's only given up three appearances that he's given up runs in the last month and a half.
I think it's 27 of his last 30. He hasn't given up a run. So there's 3
hasn't given up a run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I got you. Good teamwork on that one.
Yeah.
Followed it up with a ground out, a pop out, another ground out. And then top of the ninth, you mentioned Devin Williams, a ground up, a strikeout, and a changeup that hit the plate, and then another strikeout. It's nasty that Devin Williams' changeup is so good that he can hit a ball that bounces on the plate and still get a strikeout.
Yeah, that's gross.
Took Devin Williams just 14 pitches to get through the ninth. A no sweat, no stress ninth inning. Just Devin Williams comes in, cleans it, slams the door.
Yep.
This game moved the Brewers' winning streak to 7, the longest streak of the season. The Brewers had scored at least 5 runs in all 7 of the games. 8 of the 9 starters were on base at least one time.
Oh.
And Freddie Peralta in his last 5 games, 30 innings pitched, 17 hits, 10 walks, 7 earned runs, 46 strikeouts, and 5 Ws. If you average that out, that's 6 innings pitched, 3.4 hits, 2 walks, 1.4 earned runs, and 9.2 strikeouts.
Oh my God.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
That is absolutely just dominance.
It's almost uncalled for. That's disrespectful.
That's our third best pitcher, bro.
I know, dude. That's so stupid.
Things that stood out to me from this game: Sal Frelick back in the starting lineup after dealing with some hamstring tightness. Good that that's not a lingering thing for him.
Yep.
Another 5 spot. The Brewers 4th in their last 16 games. Elvis Peguero, we talked about already. This put the Brewers at 27-11 in one-run games. Brewers now 5-1 versus San Diego in 2023, and William Contreras' hit streak to 6.
Hey, you got to leave the one run to me, and you got to leave the Padres thing to me, because I was going to bring up a thing about the Mets, you son of a bee.
Okay, well, you got time, because there's one more Padres game to talk about.
Okay, fine. I'll do it this one.
Okay, fine.
So Adrian Houser obviously left this game with an injury, which he got put on the 15-day DL or IL. Sorry, Jesus Christ. IL. 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 earned runs, and 2 Ks. You could just tell almost immediately that he just didn't have his ace stuff. When he's right, he's painting
Pretty
the
good.
corners with the sinker. Yeah, he's our 5th starter, bro.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll just say this while we're on the subject of Adrian Houser. Every single team in Major League Baseball would take Adrian Houser as their 5th best starter.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Every single one of them.
Absolutely. Bryce Wilson, this was the game where he came in for an injured Adrian Houser, and he was just absolutely stellar. And that was a great question, because I was going to bring up how he started for the Pirates last year, so he's a guy that can come in, eat some innings, and he knows how to get people out, right? He's been around the game for a little while now. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 0 earned runs, and 4 Ks. So, I mean, just absolutely, that's stuff that goes unnoticed during a win streak, but, not by us. Because we notice it.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely big-time baseball right there. That's what winning teams do. They have guys that can step up like that. Like a Bryce Wilson, that's not one of the first names that you think of when you think of the Brewers, right? But in this game, it needs to be the first name that you think of. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great call. So, I'm glad you put him in your power pair.
Yeah, thank you. This is the one where I was foreshadowing to, where Abner Uribe he was struggling with the command a little bit, and it's going to happen. Kid's young. Yeah, he's still a baby in the Major League Baseball terms. So.
He's a baby as far as rookies are concerned. He had 80 innings pitched in minor leagues.
Yeah, right. So he's like a double baby, but he's gonna be really good when he grows up to be an adult. So he's got that going for him. He just struggled in this one. It's gonna happen. It's fine. Hobie Milner had his back, comes in, locks it down, doing what Hobie Milner does, right? The legend Hobie Milner. I love Hobie Milner. He's so awesome.
Mr. Underrated performer himself.
He's the best. And Trevor McGill, my God, this guy came in this game fucking pissed, dude. Like straight up, like he looked pissed the whole time. And that's just got to be an intimidating thing, seeing a gigantic man like him throw 100 and then scream in your face like "Sir!" Like, oh my God, yes sir. But 2 innings pitched.
Don't eat me.
Seriously, like I was watching him scream and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm not even gonna say anything back.
Do what you say.
So, yeah, the hit parade was going in this one.
Yeah.
Santana, Canna, Tellez, Contreras, and Frelick all with RBIs. Santana, Canna, Contreras, and Frelick all with 2 out RBIs. So the 2 out hit parade was going nuts in this one. 5 of 14 with runners in scoring position. Santana, Tellez, Contreras, and Frelick all had doubles. So they're not just hitting the ball, they're hitting the ball hard. And for the series, if you've been following along, runners in scoring position, we were 12 of 31. That is a 387 average. The money spent over there with the Padres, they went 1 for 23. So you can just throw money at it, and apparently it's just going to fix everything. But then you end up going 1-6 for the Milwaukee Brewers. And at this point, I don't know if I'm talking to the New York Mets or the San Diego Padres.
So I was just going to throw this out there, and I forgot to bring it up with game 2. I mentioned the Brewers' record in one-run games. I did not mention the Padres' record in one-run games.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2 of this series made the Padres 6-20 in one-run games.
So they don't get clutch hits, or they don't get clutch hitting. They spent all this money. They made a monster trade last year with us. We were directly involved with that, and people were freaking out, thinking, "Oh, the Padres are going to win this. Padres are going to do this. They're going to do this. Oh, they're going to take over the West." I don't know about that.
Psych.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the schedule on the subject of maybe Bryce Wilson making a start.
Mm-hmm.
With it being the second game of 6 days, I don't know, because you're looking at it, if you're not going to want Bryce Wilson to face the opposing batting order more than twice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at maybe burning some relievers in your second game of 6 days. I would rather bring up a guy to make a start, even if it's not Robert Gosser, even if it's the guy that they got from the Brewers in the Alex Jackson trade, and you just or from the Rays in the Alex Jackson trade, and you just bring him up for one spot start, and then you DFA him and try to bring him back to AAA right after that.
Just have him burn 4 innings. I mean, 5 innings. He's gonna save the bullpen.
You're looking at 18 batters. So if he were to be perfect, you're looking at 6 innings. If you're looking at, say, 3 to 5 hits, you're looking at 4 1/3, 4 2/3.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at not having your middle reliever for the rest of the Phillies series or for any of the Pirates games.
Yeah, I would definitely have somebody start. Not him. Not Bryce Wilson.
Glad I got you on board with me on that.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. You continue. I got to plug in my charger real quick. Otherwise, you're going to be solo. So keep going.
All right, I'll just be solo for a minute instead of the rest of the show. All right. So a leadoff walk for the Padres, followed by a strikeout of Tatis, a Soto single, got the Padres first and third with 1-0. Adrian Hauser got the ground ball. It just went under Bryce Durang's glove. And then another grounder. Manny Machado barely beat out the double play, made the game 1-0, and then a strikeout to end the first inning. Pretty solid recovery despite the early traffic on the bases, and then looking at who you're batting or pitching against. So inning could have been a lot worse for Adrian Hauser. All things considered, I think he did a good job to get out of that with only 1 run. Bottom of the first, Christian Yelich had a deep fly out, and then William Contreras followed with a 450-foot bomb. Like, William Contreras almost put a ball literally out of American Family Field. Hit it to like the third deck in deep left center. So just a massive, massive home run by William Contreras. And he knew it too. Like, he hit it, he stood and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Santana follows the first pitch double down the right field line. Got to third base on a Sal Frelick ground out. And then Willy Adames with a good at-bat, following off a lot of 2-strike pitches. Gets a swinging bunt single. The throw to third gets Santana back. The roll of his ankle was gross. But credit to him, staying in the game, being a tough dude. Canna followed with another good at bat, fouling a bunch of pitches off. Brewers got 23 total pitches in the first inning. Top of the second, a pair of home runs, a 2-run home run, and a solo shot made it to 4-1. And Hauser was done after the 2 innings. He left with minor right forearm tightness. Minor enough that he's on the 15-day injured list. He's going to miss a pair of starts. Is what it is. Bryce Wilson came in top of the third, like Jake said, had a leadoff walk for Juan Soto. Couldn't think of his first name for a second. Struck out Manny Machado looking, gives up a single to Xander Bogaerts, and then follows with a double play. So good job by Bryce Wilson getting a timely double play to end the threat there. Bottom of the third, Christian Yelich led off with a walk. William Contreras followed with a walk. Carlos Santana followed with a walk. Brewers had bases loaded with nobody out. Sal Frelick drew a walk. And then Sal Frelick was called for an illegal slide. Now, I saw a lot of people wondering why the runners had to go back. That is one of the rules that happens with the illegal slide. So both runners are automatically out, and any other runners on base have to go back from the bases they advanced from. It might seem super harsh on a situation like that, but when you're talking about guys being hurt, like literally broken legs, like Chase Utley had, they will discourage the absolute hell out of that to make sure that those illegal slides aren't part of the game.
It's a good rule by baseball, honestly. I like it.
And it's a good rule, and it's because you want those plays out of the game. And I don't think at all for a second that Sal Frelick was doing anything intentionally to try to hurt anybody or anything.
No.
I think he was just trying to break up a double play. He just started his slide too late, and he slid past the bag. That's where that illegal slide comes. So for a rookie who's played, I'm thinking like 30, I want to say he's around 30 games in to his entire rookie career. He's somewhere around there. I think he's played 30 games.
Yep.
It's a learning moment for him. Nothing that anybody should be super pissed at Sal Frelick about. It's just going to be a learning moment, and it didn't end up affecting the outcome.
Sure.
So no runs in the bottom of the third. Top of the fourth, Bryce Wilson gets a pop out, a strikeout looking, and then a liner absolutely snagged by Carlos Santana, who had just hurt his ankle the previous inning.
Yep.
From a right-handed batter. So when you're standing at first base, you're not expecting a right-handed batter to hit a screaming liner at you, the first baseman.
Yeah, that's true.
So good reaction, good jump. Ankle looked okay. Good for him. Got a couple of days off after this and then came back and played pretty well. Top of the fifth, Andruw Monasterio. A bare hand play on the leadoff hitter. I mean, outside of the Washington game when he had that one error that essentially cost the Brewers that game, Andruw Monasterio has been amazing at third base.
Yeah, he's showed a good glove.
Amazing to the point that we had a guy, Brian Anderson, who could be a Gold Glove candidate, riding the bench because we don't need to use him because Andruw Monasterio is playing such good defense.
That's impressive stuff.
That's how good Andruw Monasterio's defense has been.
He's a rookie.
And a rookie, which is insane.
Yeah.
And a rookie that wasn't even on our radar to begin this season.
Yeah.
Like Sal Frelick, Joey Wiemer, those guys were on the radar. Bryce Turang was on the radar. Andruw Monasterio was not on the radar.
Let me just take this moment because, the Badgers start this weekend. I don't mean to stop your game recap here, but I've been waiting to say this. But the Badgers start this Saturday. The Packers start next week. We got a couple Packer episodes for you guys, one on Friday, so come check that one out. We have a very young team, a lot of rookies, much like this Brewers team. A lot of guys that people aren't going to have on their radar, like Andruw Monasterio. The Packers might surprise some people. I'm just saying that. They're young, and people keep talking about that Browns team, that 0-16 team, because we're the youngest team since the Browns. This team has talent. It's not like the Browns in 2017. So just keep that in mind when you're watching the Green Bay Packers this year. Don't be shocked if they're in first place the first weekend of November or anything weird like that. I'm just saying.
Michael said he was at the game on Sunday. His takeaways were the batters were patient. They walked 9 times, he believes. Bryce Wilson was huge. Absolutely. I will not take the chance to say that as many times as we can talking about this game. Manny Machado's blow up, destroying the cooler, and Hobie Milner shutting the door were his takeaways.
Those are all great.
All right. Looking at it, Andre Monasterio's barehanded play, and then following that, Bryce Wilson got Tatis to strike out and Soto to strike out, looking for a 1-2-3-4. Um, sorry, top of the fifth. That was top of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth, Carlos Santana reached on an error with 2 outs. That was the only thing that happened in that inning. Top of the sixth, a leadoff double, got to third base on a flyout. Sal Frelick showing off the arm a little bit, just a little bit off target. That runner didn't score. There was no damage in the top of the sixth. Bottom of the sixth, Mark Canha hits a 1-out single. Bryce Terang, good eye on his at-bat, drew a walk. With 97 pitches, 1 out, runners at first and second. Michael Wacha got taken out, and he was pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure after the game, he went to his manager and was like, see? And used that as an example of why he shouldn't have been taken out, because following the pitching change, Andre Monasterio drew a walk that loaded the bases, still with 1 out. And then Rowdy Tellez coming in to pinch hit for Tyrone Taylor, rips a double off the wall, ties the game at 4. Brewers still had second and third with 1 out. Christian Yelich is intentionally walked. When are teams going to stop intentionally walking Christian Yelich to get to William Contreras? I have not seen it work one time.
I don't know. It's so stupid, but I like it because it works in my favor.
And it does. And it just elevates Christian Yelich's on-base percentage, and it puts a super fast base runner on base. So,
Yeah. So, thanks.
William Contreras did fly out to shallow right field, so it did work this time. I set up the premise just because it did actually work for once that a team did it.
I don't know, man. The numbers are still favoring us, I think.
I strongly agree. But Carlos Santana drew a walk following that, forced in a run, made the game 5-4, and then Sal Frelick hits a double down the left field line that makes the game 7-4. So you intentionally walked Yelich to get to Contreras, actually got Contreras out, and then Rowdy Tellez draws a walk, and rookie Sal Frelick slaps a double on the left field line on the first pitch.
Yep, and the radio call was fantastic on that hit, by the way.
What a roller coaster to be on if you're San Diego.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, we're going to walk Yelich on purpose so we don't have to deal with him. We just got to get Contreras out. Okay, we got Contreras out. We just got to deal with this Rowdy Tellez guy, and then it's a rookie on deck, even if he gets up to the plate. All right, Rowdy Tellez drew a walk. That sucks. All right, we're still only down by 1 run. We just got to get this rookie out. And then first pitch, this rookie just slaps a double on the left field line, and I just got to imagine, like, as a Padres fan, that you're just like, fuck! Like, that's what I picture.
Bro, that's been their entire season. Let's be honest.
That's touche. Willy Adames, following that, drew a walk, loaded the bases for Mark Canha. He drops one into left field. 2 more runs score, makes the game 9-4. And then Willy Adames got to third, and then Bryce Terang struck out to end that wild 6th inning. Top of the 7th, Abner Uribe comes in, gives up a hit by pitch and 2 walks, loads the bases with nobody out, throws a wild pitch, makes the game 9-5. And another wild pitch on ball 4 makes the game 9-6. Just a tough start for Uribe. We knew coming into the season that if he got to, which we expected him to be in AAA, if he got to the major leagues, that his command was the problem. And if he could get his command down, he's going to be an amazing pitcher, which we've seen. So not out of character for Abner Uribe to have a command issue in a game. It is what it is. Not a big deal. And obviously didn't end up affecting the outcome of the game. So 9-6, still first and third with 0 out. Hobie Milner comes in, just does what Hobie Milner does, gets Juan Soto to pop out, gets Manny Machado to pop out, and gets Xander Bogaerts to ground out.
Oof.
Round of applause for Hobie Milner. Just comes in, faces arguably, again, the toughest 3-batter stretch in Major League Baseball, gets 2 pop-ups and a ground out with 2 guys on base and nobody out. Man, Hobie Milner's got some dog in him.
Yeah, he does.
Bottom of the 7th, Andre Monasterio leads off with an opposite field single, steals second base, gets the third on a Christian Yelich ground out, and then William Contreras hits one off the top of the wall in left center. That made the game. Nope. Monasterio got stuck at third base. That was it for that inning. But William Contreras just missed a home run that would have made the game 11-6. Top of the 8th, you mentioned Trevor McGill earlier. Gave up a leadoff single, followed with a strikeout, a strikeout, and a strikeout looking. One on a curveball, two on the curveball, one on a fastball. Trevor Megill's fastball curveball combo is nasty when he's like locating well. Top of the ninth, Megill came back out, struck out Tatis, gave up a single to Soto, got Machado to fly out, and then a strikeout to end the game. Takeaways from this one: 9 walks. You were correct on that one, Michael. And then only 7 Ks for the Brewers, so more walks and strikeouts is huge. Another sweep for the Brewers. William Contreras, his hit streak got to 7th on the longest home run by a Brewer this season. Santana's hit streak got to 8. Another 5+ run inning. Bryce Wilson, very good in long relief, landed some big curveballs for strikes. That, to me, was the thing that made Bryce Wilson very effective in this game, landing his curveball for strikes. The last 8 games from this one to the previous 8, the Brewers were outscoring their opponents 58-34. And Hobie Milner. Hobie Milner has inherited 74 runners in the last 2 seasons. Only 17 have scored. That's 23%. That is the 3rd best rate in all of Major League Baseball.
Oh, wow. With the Hobie fire. I like it. So
Hobie Milner has been an absolute stud for the Brewers.
I have one more thing to add, because in the first game, I told you the $43 million for Tatis, Machado, and Soto.
Oh.
So combined, they went 9 of 34 in this series.
Oh.
That's a 3 for 12 for Machado, a 3 for 10 for Soto, and a 3 for 12 for Tatis. So 9 for 34, 15 Ks.
Damn.
And they were 1 for 8 runners in scoring position.
Oh.
So they got the 1 hit with runners in scoring position, but they also had 15 of the 40 strikeouts.
Damn.
The Padres struck out 40 times. The Brewers struck out 16 times.
Wow.
So when you think about the 2023 Milwaukee Brewers versus the 2023 San Diego Padres, just know that we're the Padres in this situation. You're welcome.
See what you did there. I like it.
You're welcome for that one.
If there's anything that screams to stop complaining about spending, like, it's right there.
Dude, I made the reference. I didn't know if we were talking about the Mets or the Padres. Like, dude, we're 12-2 versus those 2 teams. And those are 2 of the teams that were talked about the most in the offseason because, they're bringing this guy in. They're bringing this guy in. Trade last year.
Those 2 teams had, like, triple the payroll of the Brewers.
Yeah.
So
Brewers are 19.
It goes to show you that the money doesn't matter. If you put the right guys in the right situations, you will win games.
Agreed. So with that being said, I'm just going to ask that everybody just supports the Brewers as much as possible. If they ask for us to pay a little bit extra money for renovations on the stadium, I don't care. I'll pay double. I really do not give a shit.
I need to say this because it's very important to this discussion about you bringing up, just mentioning the stadium scenario.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The stadium is owned by the taxpayers. The Brewers do not own the stadium. The Brewers are not asking for renovations for their stadium. They're asking for renovations to our stadium. Yeah. So let me just say this. Either it gets passed and we as taxpayers pay to upgrade the stadium, or the Brewers leave and we as taxpayers will then renovate an empty stadium.
Yeah.
Because the taxpayers own American Family Field and the grounds that it's on.
Yeah.
The Brewers don't.
Well, there's a deal through like 2030 or something like that, right?
Through 2030, yes. And they can file for 2 5-year extensions. So it's potentially through 2040. So we're not in any danger of them moving anytime soon.
They're not leaving. There's no way. There's no way. This team's going to be winning baseball games for the next couple of years, going deep into the playoffs. Even if they just make a World Series appearance, what would that do for this franchise?
Absolutely. Okay, you ready to talk some Cubs games? I'm going to answer Michael's question before we do.
Yeah, sadly, I'm ready to talk Cubs. But yes, answer Michael's question.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this all because there's somewhat of a decent transaction list, and it's funny because it involves the Cubs. So, originally, Andre Monasterio in 2014 signed as a free agent with the Chicago Cubs.
Huh.
Cubs could have had him.
Interesting.
In 2018, he was part of a trade for Daniel Murphy. In 2018, he was then traded to the Indians, who became the Guardians, obviously. Part of the trade for Yan Gomes. And then in 2020, he was granted free agency, signed a free agent deal with the Cleveland Guardians. And then at the end of 2021, he was granted free agency and signed with the Brewers. So the Brewers signed him in November of 2021.
Huh.
And now he's playing Major League Baseball games for the Brewers.
Literally out of literally left field. Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah, just Brewers got him from the bargain bin and put him in, and he's succeeding.
Wow. Wow. That's like in the NFL, an undrafted free agent just becoming like a starter or something like that.
That's literally exactly what's happened here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh.
Okay. So let's start with Brewers Cubs game 1. This is Sunday's game. No, Monday's game.
Monday's game.
Monday's game. What stood out to you?
Well, so Monday's game was a lot of fun. Wade Miley was absolutely owning Wrigley Field. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, and only 1 K. But he's not a strikeout guy. But I'll tell you what, he'll paint some goddamn corners for you. He'll paint some corners. He had very good command of his pitches. Peguero, 1 inning pitch. Payamps, 1 inning pitch. Milner came in, 1 inning pitch. They all had 1 K and only 1 hit in between those 3. So that's just tremendous stuff. We got 2/3 of the law firm in this one, and then Hobie Milner, who is just like the king of the bullpen, in my opinion, because he's just a monster. I love that guy. So in this one, RBIs from Yelly, who got the party started. I'm sure you're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Canna, Adames, Tellez, and Contreras all had RBIs. Canna absolutely unleashed on a baseball that landed almost. I was hoping it was going to hit the scoreboard. I was like, just hit the scoreboard and break something, because they don't deserve nice things in Chicago. Canna, Adames, and Contreras all had 2 out RBIs. Canna with 2 RBIs, a 2-run homer, obviously. So let's get into the breakdown. I'll add in when I can, but this one got us win number 9 in a row.
Yeah, so Christian Yelich goes yard on the 3rd pitch of the game. That was Christian Yelich's. Okay, he's got 17 home runs on the season. Am I right? 17 or is it 18? Was that number 18?
17.
Okay, that was number 17. That's what I thought. Shouldn't have hedged. 5 of his 17 home runs are to lead off a game.
Love it.
I don't care when Garrett Mitchell is healthy. Do not take Christian Yelich out of the leadoff spot.
Yeah, Garrett Mitchell needs to be like the 5 or the 2. You would move Contreras?
I would be fine moving Contreras to 2 or to 3, I mean.
I love Contreras right behind but then you kind of give Mitchell that protection with Contreras. So
exactly. And
I'm good with either.
Mitchell he's not quite as disciplined as Sal Frelick, but he's still more disciplined than Joey Wiemer and Tyrone Taylor at the plate.
He's not as disciplined, but he definitely has more power.
He does. And like you mentioned with using William Contreras as that lineup protection, having Christian Yelich and Garrett Mitchell on the bases at the same time is literally my dream for the Brewers.
Just literally double, huh? Double his RBIs, dude.
Yeah. Every single time that William Contreras hits a double with 2 guys on base ahead of him, you know they're both scoring.
Yeah, Mitchell from first, 100%. He's so fast.
Easily. Every single time.
Yeah.
Like, if you put Yelich and Garrett Mitchell on to start a game, like, you're fucked.
You know, the scary thing is, like, we know how fast Yelich is. He just runs the bases so good. He's going to have to move because Mitchell is that fast. Mitchell is that freaking fast, dude.
Yelich is going to be like, the scenario with Bryce Harang batting 9th and getting on base, too.
I know, dude. Oh, my God. I love that move today, by the way. I love Monasterio as a 9-hole hitter.
I like it. All right. So, Christian Yelich, 3rd pitch of the game, hits a home run. Sal Frelick hits a 1-out single. Willy Adames grounder, snagged by Swanson. That was a good play, but a bad throw. Gives the Brewers runners on 2nd and 3rd. Willie Adames was given a single and then advanced on an error, so Willie Adames still was credited with a hit. Rowdy Tellez had a super deep flyout. Sal Frelick scored on that one. Willie Adames got to third, and then Mark Canha hits a monster home run, 436 feet.
He got all of that one.
He certainly did. Made the game 4-0. The Cubs did get one back on a solo shot by Ian Happ with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Made the game 4-1. Top of the second, Christian Yelich got a 2-out infield single. The throw goes into the dugout, so Christian Yelich goes to second. Then William Contreras follows with a single to extend his hit streak to 8. And Yelich scores on the play, making the error hurt, making the game 5-1. Bottom of the second, 1-2-3 inning for Wade Miley, all groundouts. Top of the third, Rowdy Tellez sneaks a 1-out single inside the right field line. Mark Canha, another deep fly ball. So Mark Canha, he's just really seeing the ball well lately.
Mm-hmm.
Happ caught it just a step shy of the ivy. No runs, but Tylon was at 56 pitches through 3 innings. Bottom of the third, a nice diving stop by Bryce Durang. The throw was in time, part of a 1-2-3 inning. Man, Bryce Durang flashed the leather this week.
Yeah, he did.
Even though he didn't get all the putouts, and his bat's been a little inconsistent over the last weekish.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's not inconsistent is his defensive play. We need to have serious discussions of Bryce Durang being in the Gold Glove conversation.
I was gonna say, man, he might be in the lead.
It's gonna be between him and Ha-Seong Kim.
Guess I'd have to look up Hassan. I haven't.
I gotta look it up, but there's no way that he's not in the conversation.
I agree.
And here's the thing, and this is okay. I'm gonna talk about the play first. So on the top of the fourth, Tyrone Taylor hits a grounder, and Nick Madrigal at third base for the Cubs makes a really nice play on it. Part of the first 1-2-3 inning for the Brewers in this game. I have less trouble giving credit to the Cubs players when they do things well, because my dislike for the Cubs isn't even necessarily because of their players. It's because of their fans.
Oh, 100%. That's the same thing. It's all Chicago teams for me. That's the same thing. I hate their fans. Their fans are so obnoxious, and most of them, you know, their D tackle was talking about our fans, but I'm like, bro, do you understand what city that you play for? Like, you have literally like the dumbest group of fans in sports. Them, New York, I mean, Dallas is up there. I mean, Chicago and Minnesota's pretty bad.
Minnesota's up there, but Chicago, I think, has to be.
Sorry,
I don't
Bryant.
think it's close.
Bryant likes all Minnesota except for the Packers, so sorry, buddy.
Not sorry. I'll say it. He knows it too. He knows the Wild and the Twins are kind of cursed a little bit, so he at least is cognizant of it.
That's true.
It's like I said, it's a scenario where I don't have problems giving credit to the Cubs players, and I've done it over the last 2 years. Talking about the Cubs being a good on base team, I have no problems giving credit where it's due for them, but it's their fans, their fans that make me not like them. Michael said, "Quit teasing. Is Mitchell, aka the Igniter, going to be ready before the end of the season? I've seen him back on the bench, but I didn't think he'd be seriously ready." Second point, whether the batting coach is going to work with Joey's batting. All the extra movement, just so unnecessary. Have Joey watch videos of Gwynn or Molitor. Just saying they've hit, and I've never seen a batter with Joey's movement of his body and hands consistently be successful in, I'm guessing, in the Major League Baseball is what he's going to say. Jake and I actually were talking about this. I think he just needs to cut that wrist flick out.
Well, then also, you know, he does, like you said, he does it, and then he brings it back and moves his body. It's like you have they talk about it all the time, how much time you have to hit a baseball.
Yeah.
And you're going to do all of that to try to time it up. Like, no, you need to come up with a toe tap or something with your hands, you know, but not all of this. That's too much.
For me, it's the wrist flick that needs to be cut out. Even if your thing is to just like lift your shoulder a little bit, like that's not even that big of a deal to me. It's the bat flick like that he needs to cut out.
So and shout out to my dad. When I was younger, I wanted to be like Ricky Weeks, and I was up there, right? And my brother Curtis, who we've had on for UFC, but we played baseball together. Actually, Tyler was on the team too.
Mhm.
8th grade year. Shout out. Let's go. That was
Yep.
great. Great season. We had a lot of fun. So many dumb memories from that year. But my brother Curtis was like this, right? He just stood there. So he flipped us, where Curtis was the one moving the bat, and I was the one just standing still. And the way he got me to do that was he made me watch Albert Pujols, one of the best hitters of all time. Albert was here. He was ready. Like, he would do just a little bit, not too much, but my dad made me just hold it still, and then I just started mashing doubles. I'll never forget the one I hit in Kohler, dude, straight through the fence.
Yeah, it's just a matter. It's a matter of where is your focus? Like, is your focus on flicking your wrists, or is it going to be on the pitch coming to you?
Like, yeah, if you're thinking about like, okay, now I got to do this when he's here, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much processing going on.
Yeah. As for Garrett Mitchell, we still don't know. The hope is there that he can come back for the end of the season. He's been doing batting practice. He's been doing baseball activities. It's just going to be a matter of if he can get some rehab appearances in before for the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not outside the realm of possibility yet. So I'm going to hold out hope until there is none.
True that. That's how we work.
So bottom of the fourth, Cody Bellinger had a 2-out single. That was the Cubs' first hit since the solo home run. Wade Miley snags a liner to end the inning. Good reflexes by an old man. Bottom of the fifth inning, Patrick Wisdom pulled an inside pitch for a 2-out solo shot to make the game 5-2. Nothing wrong with that. It was not a bad located pitch. It was an inside pitch, a ball, of anything. Patrick Wisdom just has a lot of pop. The dude's only batting like 200, but there's no denying he's got a shit ton of pop in his bat.
He's like, in like 20 years, when people talk about this era of baseball, they're going to say Patrick Wisdom was a classic player from the 2020s. A lot of strikeouts, low batting average, ton of power, could hit a million home runs.
Could have put him in the 1920s.
Dude, he would have destroyed with all the power he has.
But yeah, low batting average, lots of strikeouts, hits home runs. Speaking from what we've seen Austin Riley do with pitches outside the strike zone, it's not an outside the realm of the possibility for Patrick Wisdom to do the same thing. Just doesn't hit for as high of an average.
That's fair.
Pete Alonso, another similar situation. Like, it's like an evolution, like where Pokemon have like the beginner, and then they have the medium, and then they have the fully grown one. It's like Patrick Wisdom evolves into Pete Alonso, evolves into Austin Riley.
Ooh, ouch, Pete Alonso, ouch.
I mean, it makes sense though. You see what I'm saying?
I get it, but Pete Alonso is like a home run derby winner and stuff, so I don't know.
Okay, but Austin Riley's got like 30 home runs this year.
That's fair. Austin Riley's a beast. That whole
and
team
he hits for average and plays good defense.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm glad that my analogy finally caught on with you after I explained it all.
I mean, I got it, but ouch. Still.
So bottom of the sixth, 1-out infield single. Miley follows by getting a fly out and a ground out, so there's no damage in there. Top of the seventh, William Contreras had a 1-out double to the right field corner. Gets the third on Sal Frelick's ground out, and then Willy Adames a 2-out double down the left field line makes the game 6-2. Bottom of the seventh, Elvis Peguero comes in, gives up a 1-out walk, and follows by striking out Candelaria on 6 straight sliders.
Yep.
That was weird. Like, I'm here for it, but it was weird seeing Elvis Peguero throw that many sliders in a row, considering we know what his fastball does.
Yeah, he was like, bro, I'm getting you on a slider. He was bullish on it.
He's like, stop swinging. I'm going to get you.
Yeah, right.
And follow that up with a ground out to get a scoreless seventh inning. Top of the eighth, Mark Canha hit a liner. It was a good snag by the Cubs pitcher. But sorry, I'm giving credit to a Chicago player. It is what it is. A good at-bat by Andrew Monasterio. He had an 8-pitch at-bat. Madrigal made a nice stop, and a throw was off, but the first baseman saved him by getting him out with the tag. Bottom of the eighth, Yoel Payamps comes in, has a 1-out single, follows that 1-out single with a strikeout of Dansby Swanson. That was probably one of the biggest at-bats of the game for for Yoel Payamps to get a strikeout in that situation. Willie Adames makes a diving stop behind second base, pops up and throws out Ian Happ. That was a great defensive play by him. And then you mentioned Hobie Milner pitching the ninth inning, gets a pop out by Cody Bellinger, a strikeout of Suzuki, and gets Yan Gomes to fly out, making the Brewers' win streak to 9 games.
Love it.
So I brought this up, and you kind of mentioned Christian Yelich struggling a little bit, slumping a little bit. His batting average just hasn't been that great over the last 2 weeks. But Christian Yelich has been on every game, on base, every game except for 4 in the month of August.
Pretty damn good. I mean,
so I will still take that.
We dominated the Padres series, and he didn't get a single hit.
True. Yeah, like 6 walks, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was still on base. And he still scored runs, but
absolutely,
that's crazy.
I will give credit to the umpire this game. He was very good calling balls and strikes. I actually put that in my notes because an umpire was actually good with the strike zone, and I appreciated it.
Look up who that was.
I don't know if I care that much.
That's fair.
With the 9-game win streak, the Brewers had scored 5 or more runs in all 9 wins. William Contreras' hit streak was to 8. And then the Brewers just hitting the ball hard. And this is going to be a trend, especially when we get to today's game. The Brewers had 7 hits, or batted balls, I should say. Not all of them were hits. 7 batted balls that were 100 miles an hour plus exit velocity in the first 3 innings alone.
Oh, wow.
Our average exit velocity in the first 3 innings was 97.9 miles an hour.
Oh, that's...
Brewers were smoking the ball.
That's very
good. I saw people when we get to game 2 complaining, oh, why are the Brewers just swinging for the fences? And it's like, no, the Brewers are just trying to hit the ball hard. It's just the wind is keeping the ball in the park. So the Brewers didn't change anything. They just continued to try to hit the ball hard. And had the wind been blowing out instead of in, the Brewers probably would have won game 2 like 12-1. And today's game positioning affected it. And today's game was potentially winnable based on bounces going in a couple different directions. So let's talk about yesterday's game, last night's game, kind of the weird scenarios. But let's start with last night's game.
Well, obviously we scored 0 runs. Everybody knows that. Right. So we were 0 for 5 runners in scoring position. So, excuse me. Corbin Burnes was very good. I wouldn't say that he was great, but he was very good.
Okay. Can I just give you my point real quick on Corbin Burnes because you're talking about him?
Okay.
Corbin Burnes was better than his last start versus Minnesota.
Oh, 100%. That's not even.
He gave up 6 runs and got a no decision because the Brewers offense picked him up. Today, he gave up 1 run and gets a loss. I literally wrote it in like squiggly letters in my notes. Baseball.
It is. It's baseball. Corbin Burnes, 7 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. I mean, he got himself out of some big time jams late in this game. So give him credit for that. I mean, obviously they had the I believe it was a sac fly that they scored on. So it is what it is.
You're like playing Frogger on hard mode with a lot of traffic.
Yeah, right.
I see what I did there.
Yeah, he was pretty good actually. Uribe, it was really nice to see him bounce back. So that was a positive from this game.
Yep, good
1 inning pitch, 1 K, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks. So he had command of his pitches, which was really nice to see. They put him in another tough situation, another high pressure situation, which I love. Counsell kind of force feeding this kid to like figure it out. You're not just going to get handed 7-run leads or 4-run leads, even, all the time.
Or 2-run leads.
And actually, I had another question that I had written down in here. Do you think it's harder as a relief pitcher, take this situationally, to pitch with a lead or to pitch from 1 run behind like they were in this game? And like you see how the offense is hitting, and which one do you think is harder?
You know what? I actually would say that I think it's harder to pitch in a game that's either one, but in a lower scoring.
Yeah.
So the lower scoring the game is, the more I lean towards the pressure being when you're pitching from 1 run behind. to not let the lead get bigger because both teams are having trouble scoring runs versus a game that's say 6-5 and there's a lot of scoring going on and you're pitching from 1 run behind and it's like, okay, we can, like I'm not feeling as much pressure. We've scored 5 runs already today. We can score more.
Yeah.
Or the flip side, like obviously pitching from 1 run ahead in a low scoring game is still stressful, but even then I think I would take a little bit of solace in the fact that like, okay, like both teams are having trouble scoring, like the Cubs haven't been able to hit anything today, we can hold them down. Like I'm feeling confident we can hold them down because we've been holding them down. Versus pitching in a 1-run game, say it's 11-10 and you're like, shit, like both of these teams have scored a lot of runs, like we only up by 1, they've scored 10. Like I got to protect this 1-run lead because they've shown they can score a ton of runs.
I would say I agree with you with the low scoring, and I would say definitely when you're losing, because you have to have the mindset of like, I just got to pitch good so I can give my team a chance to at least tie it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the lead, like if you give up the lead and it's tied, you're kind of like, ah, shit. Well, at least we're still tied. You know what I mean? But losing and in a low scoring game is definitely tough. So Uribe, fantastic job. Just want to point something out here because I know you're gonna go over because you have like all the pitch speeds, like the bats off the ball.
I don't actually for this one.
Well, I know that Contreras hit it 105 miles per hour when Yelly got on when he bunted to get on in the 8th. I know that ball came off the bat at 105 miles per hour, and the wind absolutely just killed it up there. So it's like you want them to still hit the ball hard because if you're playing the long game, which, again, Tyler, what is baseball? The most stretched out season, correct?
Yep.
So in the long run, you're going to want your guys to just take good at bats and square up the ball and hit the ball hard because that is what's going to be key later on. We're playing at American Family Field in October, and the roof is closed. If a ball comes off of William Contreras' bat at 105 miles per hour, it's going over the fucking fence. Either that or it's another double. So shocker there. One way or the other, we're scoring at least 1 run. So
okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me ask you this question. I already know what your answer is going to be, but would you rather try to train your hitters to try to hit soft bloop hits for a couple games and have that rub off on them, or would you rather try to have them hit the ball hard and deal with the conditions for a couple games?
Well, you know the answer. You know the correct answer, too. This is not an opinion answer.
This is a question that people should ask themselves out loud when they're saying the Brewers should stop swinging for the fences. When the Brewers are trying to hit the ball hard, just ask yourself that question. Would you rather them try to hit the ball hard all the time or try to figure out how to get soft hits when the weather's not perfect?
And you know what? The thing about that is, I don't think they're even trying to swing for the fences. I think they're just trying to hit the fucking
They're
ball.
literally
hard,
trying to hit the ball hard. That's a baseball thing. Like,
and the Cubs play super deep in the outfield.
Super deep.
So like they obviously, if we fly out over there, it is what it is. But if you hit the ball hard, because they play close to the lines as well on defense, so you have to hit the goddamn ball hard to try to get it past somebody, man. So they have very good They have a good defense. Let's not kid ourselves.
They do.
Right?
Yeah, they literally won a World Series because of their defense.
I mean, up the middle. I mean, Nico Horner and Swanson. That's
a good combo.
Damn good. Ian Happ obviously has a good arm. We've seen that this year. He's a great fielder. Tauchman's pretty damn good as well. So I mean, and Bellinger's pretty good in center field as well, and he also plays first base. So yeah, they're pretty solid on defense. The Cubs are no slouch, man. So it's not embarrassing to lose a series to them.
They're a solid team. Like,
yeah,
I think I had them finishing 3rd in the division, right around 500.
I mean,
they're still 4 games over right now, 5 games over. So
yeah, they might be 5. And are they winning the wild card still? So I mean, it's not like they're not slouches by any means. This is not like
they might be in they might be in the 3rd wild card spot.
I'm gonna look it up. Will you start your breakdown here?
Okay. So, top of the first, Christian Yelich had a leadoff walk. Craig Counsell, shout out to him for making a good challenge on a Canna grounder that was overturned into an infield single. A wild pitch gave the Brewers 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Willie Adames got behind in the count, but fouled a bunch of pitches off. He hit a strong liner just right at the second baseman. And this is a trend that'll continue. It's an unfortunate thing, but again, we'd rather hit the ball hard than try to hit the ball soft and try to perfectly place it.
They are.
Michael said they're currently in the second wild card spot.
They're 2 games above San Francisco. So
okay. Andrew Monasterio getting to see a lot of pitches. He did strike out, but they had Justin Steele at 29 pitches already after the first inning. Burns only needed 10 pitches to get through the first inning, but the Cubs did have a lead after a hit by pitch, a double, and a ground out. Just kind of one of those baseball things there.
yeah.
It is what it is. Top of the second, Victor Caratini had a 1-out single, hit it off of Justin Steele. I'm glad that he was able to stay in the game, like just as a competitor thing and just as a human thing. We wouldn't want to. We don't want to see people get hurt.
No.
Like at the end of the day, I don't like the Cubs, but I do not wish injuries on their players.
No, like we've said 1,000 times, like somebody's dad, somebody's brother, somebody's son, like
best friend,
uncle, he could be the Funkle of the family. Who knows?
That's me, by the way. I am the Funkle when it comes to my sister.
Oh, I definitely ruined my nephew. Sorry.
And then the other part of that, not only like do we not want people to get hurt, but the other part of it is like you want to beat your opponents when they're at their best.
True.
Like you don't want there to be excuses of, oh, you only won this game because our Cy Young caliber player got hurt in the second inning.
Right.
Like we don't want that. We just want to beat the team when they're at their best.
Yeah.
Bryce Terang followed up with an opposite field single. It was a really nice hit on a pitch that was on the outer half of the plate. Tyrone Taylor put a good at-bat together, was down 0-2 quickly, worked back into a 2-2 count before grounding into a double play. It's just the Cubs, even with their defense being good, like it's their defensive positioning that makes them great. Like they have a knack of being in the right place at the right time, and that is credit to their positioning. Bottom of the second, leadoff walk followed by 2 strikeouts and a ground out, so no damage there. Top of the third, this is where the exit velocity thing really gets me, because this is a baseball thing. But top of the third, Christian Yelich smokes a hard ball for a line out. William Contreras follows with a bloop single. And it's just one of those things where it happens in baseball. I would still prefer to have guys looking to hit the ball hard because that produces better results.
I agree.
Outside of this is the thing. You can't use a small sample size and act like it transfers to the whole. Like a 2-game sample size of guys hitting soft grounders, even a 2-series sample size. Take this series and the Dodgers series.
Yeah.
Where you see the Brewers are the ones hitting the ball harder, but the Brewers lose both series. They're 1-5 in these 6 games. Over the entire series of the span of the entire season, hitting the ball hard does still produce a good baseball team, evidenced by the Brewers' record. So using these series does not justify trying to not hit the ball hard. It just doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
Okay, so after William Contreras' bloop single, Mark Canha had a good at-bat, following off a bunch of pitches before serving one into center field. He was off to a 2-for-2 start last night. Willie Adames struck out, and Andrew Monasterio struck out on a pretty tough pitch. I think that was maybe a factor in him being moved down in the batting lineup today. Just not a great pitch to swing at for Andrew Monasterio, but still a very good player. Bottom of the third and top of the fourth were both 1-2-3s. Bottom of the fourth, a 1-out single by Dansby Swanson was wiped out by a double play, so good job for Burns on that. Top of the fifth, Tyrone Taylor puts one just shy of the basket, barely missed tying the game, even in the wind. But Happ jumping into the ivy made the catch. William Contreras put together another good at-bat, saw a lot of pitches, ended in a ground out. Did get Justin Steele to 93 pitches through 5 innings. Bottom of the fifth, a 1-out single. Hit and run, pulled Bryce Terang away from what would have been a double play. It sucks because it's just one of those things where, and it's going to come back to hurt today, and both of them are going to go the Cubs' way. But a walk, load the bases with 1 out. Nico Horner ripped a liner right to Andrew Monasterio, snags it, runs the steps on third base, complete the double play, and end the inning. So great work by Andre Monasterio to complete that double play. Top of the sixth, Andre Monasterio hits a 1-out opposite field single. Weimer just misses one foul. That's Weimer's power showing. He was, I don't know, maybe 6 feet foul, but just an absolutely smoked baseball by Joey Weimer, just foul. He flew out. And that was it for the Brewers half of the sixth inning. Bottom of the sixth, Ian Happ led off with a single. Bryce Durang made an amazing diving play to take away a hit from Cody Bellinger and turn it into a fielder's choice. That's just amazing play by Bryce Durang.
Gold glover.
Yeah, absolutely. We might have to make that a hype train. The Bryce Durang Gold Glove hype train.
Dude, just give him a big giant glove and make it gold. Seriously, that'd be sick.
Got to figure out a way to get the train involved. I'll figure it out. I'll think of something. Burns follows out by getting Suzuki to strike out looking and strikes out Candelario on 3 pitches. So good job by Corbin Burns keeping that a 1-2-3 game. Or sorry, a 1-run game. Top of the 7th, Brewers went 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th, Corbin Burns comes back out. Gets a strikeout, and then almost an insane play by Bryce Durang on the shortstop side of second base. It resulted in an infield single. But, I mean, Bryce Durang's just fucking everywhere.
To even make that a close play is impressive, honestly.
That was followed up by a single to left, then a pop out, and then Corbin Burns got Ian Happ to strike out, so there was no damage in the inning. Top of the 8th, Christian Yelich led off with a bunt single. William Contreras had a deep fly out, and Christian Yelich gets caught at second, stealing to end the inning. Bottom of the 8th, Abner Uribe, where you brought up, this is a good bounce back for him. Gets a 1-2-3 8th, and then Willie Adames hits a fly out to the warning track in the 9th, part of a 1-2-3 inning. I did mention Corbin Burns being better than he was in his previous start, and the baseball gods just, it's baseball.
I got to say about Adames, he knew he smoked that baseball, but he also knew that it was going to get knocked down by the wind.
It wasn't going to be deep enough. Yeah,
I believe that
was the same thing in the last series the Brewers played in Chicago. Carlos Santana hit 2 deep fly balls to right center field. One of them was like 105 miles an hour off the bat, and it was caught 2 steps short of the warning track.
Yeah, I mean, so you know that Contreras was 105. You know that Adames killed one. You know that Tyrone Taylor almost hit one. How strong is Joey Weimer?
Bro, his was mashed.
If he waits back, like literally like a 1/10 of a second, was there a runner on? I believe there was a runner on. Yeah, there was a runner on. We win that baseball game.
Yeah,
because they're not going to get hard contact on a
so
Devin
what
Williams
you're saying
changeup.
is Joey Weimer needs to add another flick.
I don't know, dude, but
a double flick.
Fucking killed that baseball, dude. I'll tell you that. He killed that baseball.
You want to know something that kind of hurts? Tyrone Taylor's flyout in the 5th inning is a home run in 28 out of 30 ballparks.
God. You could literally say the same thing probably about Contreras and Adames, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a home run in 28 out of 30 ballparks, all of them except for Wrigley Field and Baltimore.
Fuck them both right now.
I'm going to make fun of the Cubs now and after we talk about today's game. Cubs fans will cry all season from 2nd and 3rd place about run differential and then beat their meat over a 1-0 win.
Right.
You won the game off of a run-scoring ground out. And now all of a sudden it's, ooh, yeah, we got a 1-0 win. We rock. After you cried all season about run differential, but now you're excited about a 1-run win?
They're literally taking on the mindset that we've been talking about, like literally beat us 10-0 in the first game and let us win the next 2 games. I'm fine with that. You can have your fucking run differential.
We're going to talk about it again. It's going to come back.
Are Brewers fans happy right now with run differential? No, we're not.
They're not dumb Chicago fans.
Exactly.
No
well, the ones that should take offense are the ones that are like, hey, now, they're probably the smart ones.
Okay. The ones that would take offense to that would be the ones that didn't understand that wins matter more than run differential.
Exactly.
If you understand that, then you understand that my comment was extremely sarcastic and satirical.
Agreed.
Okay. So what's it about to you from
word,
today's game?
by the way? Massive word you just threw.
You like that?
That was wow. That was impressive. I'm a little dumbfounded right now. That was nice. Baseball. I don't know. So
Got flabbergasted right now.
yeah, man. Brandon Woodruff. I mean, again, we have the best top 3 in baseball, right? We're sounding redundant at this point, but Brandon Woodruff, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. He was mowing them down. Gotta point this out. I'm a hair flow guy, so Burns used to have the flow, cut the flow off, right? And he became a monster after he cut the flow off. And Brandon Woodruff, last year and stuff had the short hair, and now he has the flow going, and he's going crazy. So they kind of just changed places, but the thing that didn't change is they're both just really fucking good at baseball. So the changeup again was working really good for him. He actually threw the curveball pretty decently. Damn it, I forgot to throw out a burn stat. Backtrack just for 1 second. I don't even change the thing.
Okay.
On Corbin Burns' curveball, people are hitting 100 this year. Literally like 0.100.
I want to look up what it is from before and after the All-Star break because it's been even better since the All-Star break.
That is disgusting. So Peguero comes into the game today and he allows zeros across the board. Piamps, listen, man, here's the context of the situation. There was an error. He gave up a hit. He walked a guy. He gave up a hit. He had 1K. The hit that he gave up was like literally the weakest thing of all time. Like it was. Who the hell did he just do that against last Wednesday? Who the hell did we beat last Wednesday?
Texas? No.
It was right after them.
Yeah, it was Minnesota.
When Bryce Terang hit the God, I was thinking Texas too, but I was like, no, we played them on the weekend.
2-game series. That's why it was hard to remember.
Yeah. So when Bryce Terang hit that infield single, and that is exactly how Twins fans felt last week, and that's how we feel today. It was like, God damn it, really one of those. But credit like we did to Bryce Terang, give credit. He hustled down the line and he made it a tough play and he was safe. And they don't ask how, they ask how many. So credit to Bellinger, who, by the way, is having a very massive turnaround. And I'm happy for him as a person because I cannot, even, put into my mind what it's like to go from like an MVP candidate on one of the biggest market teams in baseball to, where he was down there. And now for him to be able to come back and have a bounce back, that's good for him. I don't like that he's doing it for the Cubs because it allows their fans to talk stupid, but I hope he gets paid. Absolutely. And I hope he leaves Chicago. So in this one, Contreras and Canna both had RBIs. Canna's RBI came from a hit by pitch. He took that like a man.
Like he does.
44 RBIs for Canna, 65 RBIs for Contreras. Contreras also got his second stolen base of the season, and Frelick improved to 6 for 6 on stolen bases. So good for him. This one was a tough loss, but it's the thing about baseball. There's always tomorrow, right? You just move on to the next one because there's 162 of these things. Off day tomorrow, and then we start a series at home, which we are riding a 5-game home winning streak. Obviously, that's the Twins and the Padres. So hopefully they can continue the home cooking and get some big dubs. Obviously, Saturday's game is going to be pretty crazy because we don't know who the starter is going to be, but
it'll be interesting.
We got Freddie on the mound on Friday, so I feel pretty good about that. Freddie Friday, baby.
Top of the first inning, Christian Yelich had a leadoff single. Santana drove one out walk, and that was it for the Brewers in that top of the first. Bottom of the first, a walk, hit by pitch, and a double. Put the Cubs on early. Still had second and third with nobody out. Woodruff followed by striking out Bellinger, getting Swanson to a sac fly, and then a fly out. The inning could have been a lot worse than 2-0. So Adrian Hauser similarly, a few games prior, having second and third with 0 out and already a run in could have been a lot worse than only 2 runs in the inning. Top of the second, Rowdy Tellez led off with a single, and then the Brewers went 1-2-3 after that. Bottom of the second, Woodruff had a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging. Top of the third, Christian Yelich had a leadoff single that was then changed to a reach on error. He got to second base on it. William Contreras singled him in, made the game 2-1, and then went 1-2-3 after that. Bottom of the third, more traffic for the Cubs. A single and a hit by pitch gave the Cubs first and second with 1 out. Brandon Woodruff responds by getting Bellinger to pop out and Swanson to strike out. No runs in the third. So Burns and Woodruff playing with a lot of traffic the last couple of days and not getting squished and losing all their lives. If I'm going to go back to the Frogger reference. Brewers went 1-2-3 in the top of the fourth. Cubs went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Top of the fifth, Andres Monasterio hit a good rip, just a line drive that got caught. It is what it is. It happens. It happened a lot. William Contreras drew a 2-out walk, stole second base, and then Nico Hoerner saved the game-tying run on a ground ball by Carlos Santana, gave the Brewers first and third, and Sal Frelick struck out to end that inning. Bottom of the fifth, Brandon Woodruff got a real quick 1-2-3 inning. Brewers went 1-2-3 in the top of the sixth. Cubs went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the sixth. Top of the seventh, Kyle Hendricks comes out of the game, and it seems like every time the Brewers play him, he's either a Cy Young pitcher or the Brewers rock him. And today he was that Cy Young level.
It's so annoying.
No middle ground either. It's like if he throws a good first inning, it's like shit.
Yep.
Or the Brewers are up 4-0 before the Cubs bat. Like that's no middle ground with Kyle Hendricks.
I tell you what, he has a really good changeup though.
He does, and he changes the levels with it. So like
yeah,
the dude's been in Major League Baseball for a long time, and it's not by accident.
Yeah, I agreed.
Bottom of the seventh, Elvis Peguero came in. Andres Monasterio made a really nice play at third base, and Rowdy Tellez made a nice pick on the throw to get the leadoff runner. 3 ground outs by Elvis Peguero in only 7 pitches. Top of the eighth, Sal Frelick had a 2-out single. He stole second base. Willie Adames drew a walk. Rowdy Tellez drew a walk. With the bases loaded, Mark Canha doing what he does, getting hit by pitches. People act like this shit doesn't matter. It literally scored a run for us.
I just want to give credit to Adames and Tellez. Those were some fucking big boy at bats.
True. I can't, like, I literally see people say dumb shit like getting on base doesn't matter if you don't have someone to drive them in. You will get in scenarios where there won't be any open bases to put somebody who is ready to get on base. It happened today.
Yeah, almost won us a baseball game today.
It's almost like there's only 3 bases where you can put guys before you run out of places to put base runners. If you have guys that can get on base, they will get on base. There's not some miracle thing that makes some guy a good hitter only with runners on base, and there's things that make guys only good at getting on base when the bases are empty. That's not a thing. So, Mark Canha hit by pitch, tied the game. Made the game 2-2. Bottom of the eighth, a leadoff reaching on error. Was the first base runner for the Cubs since the third inning. An uncharacteristic by Willie Adames. It's very rare. We can give his fielding percentages next week if people want them, but errors are rare to come by with Willie Adames.
I mean, we could just find a highlight reel of plays he's made and just share that on the page too.
I mean, we can do that too. That was followed by a walk and a sacrifice bunt. Then there's a grounder. So there was second and third, 1 out. A ground ball. Rowdy Tellez catches, goes home, gets the lead runner. That was a big play. And then Cody Bellinger ropes a grounder off of Joel Payamps' ankle. They sent him for x-rays. Craig Counsell said he's okay. So that's the biggest takeaway is that Joel Payamps is okay because he is going to be needed in September.
And October.
And October. Touche. That made the game 3-2. He stayed in the game. Payamps did and struck out Dansby Swanson. So good work for him. Top of the ninth, Andres Monasterio reached on a leadoff error. Christian Yelich unfortunately grounded into a double play. It was a hard hit, just right at the second baseman. And then
the defensive positioning for the Cubs the last 2 days was crazy.
That's what it is. And then William Contreras drew a 2-out walk. And then Tyrone Taylor came in to pinch run for him, takes off. Dansby Swanson comes to cover second base right as Rowdy Tellez hits a ground ball to second base.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. We ran into an out, but like not the traditional way. You know what I mean?
And it's like there's nothing wrong with any of that play.
No.
Because I don't have a problem with Tyrone Taylor trying to steal bases because he's fast.
Right.
I don't have a problem with Rowdy Tellez swinging at that pitch because without Swanson going to cover the base, that's going to be a single up the middle.
I mean, imagine if Rowdy, with him stealing, imagine if Rowdy hits it where Swanson was going to be. And then, by some magic, it's hit so hard that it rolls to the wall. Tyrone Taylor already with momentum is probably scoring on that.
He's definitely scoring. There's not even a problem. If that ball gets in the gap, he's definitely scoring.
So with him going already, I mean, I respect Counsell for trying to make a move, and sometimes you get burned by it, but it is what it is, man.
It's baseball. It's really like the whole combination, the amount of bounces that the Cubs had to get to win this game by 1 run. Like, I'm not concerned about it.
I agree.
I'm not mad about this loss. I'm not concerned about it. Like, it feels like a lucky win for the Cubs.
Yep.
And I'm not saying like to take anything away from them because like the Brewers have had lucky wins too.
Mhm.
But it just felt like a lucky win for the Cubs. Like, I'm not to take anything away from them, but it's just one where I don't feel like it holds a lot of weight for the Brewers having done something wrong.
I agree.
The other thing that I want to say with the 3 runners that scored for the Cubs were a walk, a hit by pitch, and a reach on error.
Fuck. That's
I know. And here's the thing. Back to the run differential. The Brewers scored more runs in this series.
Yeah.
Lost 2 of 3 games. So if you are a Cubs fan and you think run differential matters more than wins, you lost this series.
Yeah.
You hear how dumb that sounds?
Pretty goddamn dumb.
It sounds really dumb.
Yep.
Which is what we've been saying literally the entire season.
It's all right. We're gonna sweep the little 2-game series that we have to end the season.
The Brewers have a positive run differential now, anyways. So
yeah,
that our own fan base can go away with that too. The Brewers ain't gonna win anything. You know, positive run differential. 1987 Twins won a World Series with negative run differential, but it can't ever happen again. Okay, so the Brewers have 3 games against Philadelphia. They are off tomorrow, so it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday versus Philadelphia, and then they have 3 games at Pittsburgh. I'm going to call for a 4-2 week. It's really just if the Brewers play, they have I think 29 games left.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 15-14, and the Cubs go 20-10, the Brewers still win the division. It's something like that. But the Brewers play a lot of games, like you mentioned last week, against teams under 500. So, I mean, I'm really just looking for the Brewers. Like, it's not even that they have to stay afloat. They just need to keep doing what they've been doing over the last 2 weeks.
So we're taking 3 in Pittsburgh. That's my prediction. And because we're playing so well at home, I'm going to say we are going to take 2 of those. So I'm going to say 5-1.
I like it. I'm gonna say 2-1 in each series. Like, I'm really just looking for the Brewers to just keep winning series. That Saturday, that starting pitcher for Saturday's game will be interesting. We will definitely keep an eye on that as well.
That'll be the game. Watch. So we'll win close Friday, right? The Saturday game will be the game where we don't know the starting pitcher. It's gonna be like a random guy that neither of us named. Bullpen day, basically, and the offense is gonna score 12 runs. Watch this.
That's what it'll be. Tim said he agrees with 5-1.
Hey, we go 5-1, dude. We're gonna be sitting real pretty by next Wednesday. I'll say that.
What were you saying before the show? What were you saying before the show on the wins?
Oh, they don't ask how. They ask how many.
No. Totals.
What did I say? I don't remember. I said it last night.
Talk about how many games we won last year and where we're sitting this year.
Oh. Yeah. So what are we, 9 games away from matching? Oh, no, we're 12 wins away from matching our win total from all of last season. We win 12 more games. We match our win total already. And we have 30 games left. I think we're going to win 12 games. The Brewers will probably end with 90. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, I predicted 94 and you predicted 93. Or I predicted 93, you predicted 92. Either way, I was one game ahead of you. And to be honest with you, I think you're going to win 92 to 94 games.
I agree with that. Let me see. There's the Bucks draft. Brewers trade.
If you said 92, I said 93.
Let's see. That's from December. I'm trying to find my notes. I didn't write yours down, so I know that I won't have that.
No, I know I'm one ahead of you. I remember that. Like,
okay.
And I don't remember if you said 92 or 93. I think you said 92. Close to
my Brewers notes here. I'm gonna find them.
You said 92 and 70, I believe.
So I got to be a little bit ahead.
Oh, he's almost there.
I just found my opening day notes, so I got to be close to my Brewers primary notes here somewhere.
Well, either way, let's go over these pictures.
There it is. Brewers primer 2023. My record prediction 88 and 74. The Brewers and Cardinals finished within 3 games of each other. Cubs 5 to 6 games behind, hovering around 500.
Oh no, I was wrong then. That must have been last year I was thinking of, because I definitely said like 92 or 93 wins. I'll have to get my notebook.
So with my thing of the Brewers, and I said with Cardinals finishing within 3 games of each other, I think I had the Brewers between 88 and 91.
Okay, that might be what it is then. But yeah, dude, the Brewers schedule to like end this season is just like, it's king, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And the Marlins they're kind of reeling, so that's a series that you and I are going to be at one of those games where the Brewers will have an opportunity against a team that has looked good, but hasn't looked good lately.
Yeah, so Phillies, Pirates, at Yankees, who like don't score, and then we're going to bring our pitching in there. So like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got a 4-gamer against the Marlins, and like you said, we're going to be at the game on Monday, 9/11. So hopefully we'll see a dub there, and then we play Washington, Cardinals, Marlins, Cardinals. I mean, come on.
All right, I'm with it. You got anything else?
Next week's show is going to be jam-packed, baby. We're going to have Badgers football and Milwaukee Brewers. Let's go.
Yes, and we have a show this Friday night. We haven't put it out any of our socials, but we are going to have Dusty Evely on with us on Friday night, so we're definitely going to have some great Packers discussion coming this Friday. And also starting this Friday, we got no Fridays off.
No Fridays off, baby.
This week, you will have twice a week Wisco Fanatic shows through football season, so it's here. It's football time now, too.
Man, I am just... And you know what? This week has felt so good weather-wise. You know, at work, it's been so nice. You know, it's been nice and chill. I actually got a little cold last night with the window cracked, but then it goes back to some bullshit next week. I mean, starting on Friday, but god damn, man, I'm just so sick of that weather. I'm so excited to just watch grown men run into each other and then talk shit about it afterwards. Best time of the year. Best time of the year.
All right.
Hands down.
I will see you Friday night then.
All right, buddy. Have a good night. See you Friday.
Talk to you later.